All right, we're going to look at our last type of proportion here, our last little addition to a proportion. It's going to be a really similar idea to what we've been doing. Um, I'm going to jump right in and do the first one. These are the same questions that you have on your notes. So while I'm working this, you're going to fill it in on your page with me. So number one says, in Miss Smith's class, students were asked to choose between chocolate and vanilla ice cream. 6 students chose chocolate and 9 students chose vanilla. And it wants to know how many students would be expected to choose vanilla if 60 total students were surveyed. So we're going to be really specific. I know we're going to label these, but we're going to be specific on looking at the question for these because these are asking for information that isn't given in the first ratio. So this says how many students would be expected to choose vanilla if 60 total students were surveyed. So if we look to the question, it'll tell us our labels. So I've got vanilla and total. And those are my 2 labels. And if I go back to my original ratio, I had 6 chocolate and 9 vanilla, but that's not what I want as my ratio. I want to get the number of vanilla, which was 9, so I can fill it in. And in order to find the total, I've got to do 9 plus 6, which gives me 15. So my original ratio that's going to go over here on the left is 9 to 15. And then it wants to know how many students would be expected to choose vanilla if there were 60 total. So I'm putting 60 on the bottom with the total. And then from there, we can solve this the same way as always. I'm going to let you go ahead and solve it. We're just going to set these up on the notes. So you're solving this one. Number 2 is very similar. It says for every 2 left-handed players on the Cowboys, there are 7 right-handed players. And then my question asks me how many total players are there on the Cowboys if there's 42 right-handed players. So my 2 labels, again, are going to come from my question. So I'm looking for total players and right-handed players. So I'm going to put T and R as my labels. And then again, it only tells me 2 left-hand for every 7 right-hand, but I don't want left-handed players. So in order to figure out what the total is, I'm going to have to add those together because everybody on the team is either left-handed or right-handed. So 2 plus 7 is 9. And I already know from my original ratio that 7 of them are right-handed. So this means for every 9 total, there's 7 right-handed players. And then if I go to my question, it wants to know how many total there are if there are 42 right-handed. So same thing from there. We can solve it the same way as before. You're going to go ahead and solve that one. I'm going to scroll down to number 3, sorry. And it says, Mr. Kiesler makes 2 out of every 3 free throws he shoots. How many free throws would Mr. Kiesler miss if he shot 27 free throws? So this one in my question, it's asking me about misses. So it wants to know how many I'm going to miss. And it's asking me if I shot 27 free throws. So I'm just going to put a T for total. So if I shot 27 total free throws, how many would I miss? Well, if I make 2 out of 3 free throws, so I'm going to put 3 little circles right here. I shot 3 free throws and I made 2 of them. That would mean that I just missed 1 free throw out of every 3 total. So my ratio would be 1 miss to every 3 shot. And then it wants to know if I shot 27 free throws, how many did I miss? So you really got to look at the question on these and really look and ask yourself what the question wants you to answer. And then you can use that to determine your ratio. Okay, number 4 says Draper Intermediate School is ordering pizzas for a pizza party. The ratio they use is 3 cheese, 4 pepperoni, and 2 hamburger. How many hamburger pizzas would be expected if they ordered 63 total pizzas? Well, so again, from the question, I know I need hamburger and I need total. So I'm going to draw my proportion there. And I know from my original ratio that there's 2 hamburger. And then I can do the same thing we've been doing. I can add all these numbers up to figure out the total. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and then 5 plus 4 is 9. So 2 out of every 9 total are hamburger, and it wants to know if there was 63, how many would there be? So you're going to solve that one also. Okay, so you should have, if you need to go ahead and pause the video or stop the video, you can, but you're going to go through and solve these and get them checked. You're also going to do 5 and 6. Remember, the key, I'm going to write them down here at the bottom. You need to look at the question to determine what your ratio is. It's the biggest step. You got to look at the question. Don't look just behind the numbers, because on these type, they're giving you false information, or they're giving you only half the information that you need. So look to the question to solve it. So you're solving all 6 of these, then raise your hand and somebody will come check, and then you can grab the assignment.